Turf Titan, may the best lawn win.
Well, what is up, everybody? Thanks for joining the live stream here. Special guest Andrew from Turf Titan, president of Turf Titan. Thanks for joining in here, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to do it. That intro got me all fired up.
The hype video. I get you
right, I love
it. So, can everybody hear us on the YouTube chat? Anybody confirm that they can hear us? Just make sure everybody can hear us before we get going here. Can everybody hear us okay? Somebody confirm. All right, so we got everybody can hear us. So yeah, Andrew, I appreciate you being in here. And I know I've been using Turf Titan now for about a year and been in touch with you for a lot of that time and learned a lot about Turf Titan over the past year. And I think a lot of other people would love to learn some of that background info too. So it's great that you're here and we get the info straight from the source. So do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your background and with Turf Titan and
Sure.
kind of how things have taken off?
Sure. So my background, I came from a company that I was with for about, it was 13 years. And that's when I was kind of introduced into the turf arena. So we supplied companies like Site One Landscaping, who's one of our partners now. And, that's when we had it was a fertigation system, but it was an injection system that sequestered or chelated iron. So you wouldn't get rust stains on your sidewalks and homes and things like that. So with that, you could introduce in fertilizers into the injection system. And we wanted to try to make better fertilizers for this injection system. And we wanted to put more products in it just to give consumers more ability to do fun things in their lawns.
Yeah.
So at that time, I worked with Purdue University, Dr. Cale Bigelow, who's a PhD turf scientist, and started testing out over in West Lafayette. They have a plot over there that they do basically they test all different kinds of things, fertilizers, herbicides, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And, I was telling you earlier, Cale became a good friend. I've worked with him probably over 10 years. We went out golfing one day and he was looking more at the grass and the greens and was just like telling me what was going on with him. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. He had a passion for lawn and it kind of caught on to me. So with that company, I met Biodyne, which was Gil Farley was the owner of Biodyne. And back then they were just getting into the agricultural industry. And he had a product and he said, hey, this is a stubble digester. I think it'd be great to put in your systems to help break down that thatch layer. And I always thought it was a great idea, but we never got there. And then he said, hey, at one point he said, why don't you just come over and start a turf division for me? And you can take some of our top products with microbiology and soil microbes and bring them to the turf industry. Yeah. So at that point, Turf Titan was born. That was about, we're going into our third season. Yeah. We launched, I think, 4 products the first year, and we're up to like 12 now. So it's been a fun ride. We're just trying to do things a little bit different with Turf Titan. Number one, we just want to give people great results with the products. Number two, we always thought that lawn products, people don't know what to use, when to use it, if it's going to burn out their yard, if it's going to hurt their pets. So we wanted things to just be safe and give them the easy button. And with that kind of drives us. And the third thing is just our customer service. When somebody calls up, we want to be able to spend some time with them, have somebody, live on the other side of the phone and really get in and answer their questions that they have. Because a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I early on dealt with your customer service and it was fantastic. So you always got an answer, quick response and helpful. So Not often do you find companies with good products and good customer service. You may find one or the other, but you guys hit both of those. So that's definitely great. I will agree with you guys' goal of keeping things easy for people who are maybe hesitant about using liquids, or afraid to go into the DIY realm and start using stuff on their lawns. I mean, it's super simple. And I think that's been very helpful with a lot of people I've talked with in getting them into, doing this on their own and kind of taking their lawns to the next level. So it's been great. And I mean, like I said, I've been using it for the past year and had nothing but success with the product. So it's been an awesome journey, and to see just even in the last year how far you guys have grown, and with getting the products into or the Thatch Buster into Walmart and all that, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy. I mean, if you would have asked me, a year ago, hey, will Turf Titan be in Walmart? I would have never said in year two that we had Thatch Buster or any product for that matter in Walmart. So yeah, and that's just going to open a lot of doors for us. We just had a Lowe's appointment last week, and we'll continue to try to drive product at retail, just so it's easier for people to get, and they can touch it, feel it, educate themselves a little bit more.
Absolutely. I guess the next thing I wanted to touch on was, you kind of talked about the relationship with Biodyne and the BW Fusion realm. Kind of how those products the Turf Titan products kind of developed from that arena. So, and it's more focused on one thing I love about the products is it's, a lot of them have the microbes in them, the soil microbes, like we had talked about in the past. I mean, they're sourced from here in the USA, not from overseas. And it's just, you guys' attention to quality is what really sold me on everything. So can you touch a little bit about what the decisions were on bringing what products over to lawn care community and how that kind of works out?
Yeah. So, I mean, just to back up a little bit. So, kind of the history of our product, and what I like to tell everybody is, so Gil Farley, who was one of my buddies and had me come over and work on Turf Titan, his uncle is Dr. Fred Farley. And so that's where everything came from 30 years ago. Yeah. And Fred is a PhD microbiologist, plant physiologist. He's worked with microbes his entire life. He's in his late 70s now. And when he started off, he was into bioremediation. So cleaning up brown sites, VOCs, pesticides, herbicides, hydrocarbons, all that nasty stuff, oil spills. And he used microbiology to do that. So I always tell people, a lot of those same bugs that were used 30 years ago in those formulas that clean up soil are still in our formulas today. So when you use that microbiology, if you've used herbicides, pesticides in your soil, and a lot of neighborhoods are built on old farm fields that, are basically soil's dead, so that those help revive your soil and fix your soil essentially. But they got into the ag industry, and that was 20 years ago. Farmers thought they were crazy, selling, pixie dust, and really didn't trust it. But once they started putting it down on the fields and the farmers started seeing ROI and results, then that side of the business has just absolutely exploded. And really, I think that just soil microbes and soil health on the ag side, it's kind of in the forefront of everybody's mind now, where 20 years ago, nobody really thought about soil health. So with that, we try to be on the forefront. We've had the EPA in our facility. We want to be the benchmark. So we've invested in pharmaceutical grade equipment, quite a bit of money in that equipment. We test we test every single batch for any of the bad guys in there. So Legionella, Shigella, E. coli, Salmonella, just to make sure that the product's safe and that what we give you is what we say is in there. That's kind of where it all started, and we take QC very, very serious, and we think that with the team approach that we have to the microbes in each formula is the way to go, because we know you'll see some products out on the marketplace and they may say, I have 8,000 different species in there. Well, there's no possible way to really test for that. So we know in the Thatch Buster product that there are 28 different microbes in there, and those microbes are all going to focus on breaking down cellulose, lignin, chitin, starches, and other things in your soil. They're going to use it as a food source, and then they're going to release it back to the lawn. That was one of the products that was a stubble digester that farmers use to break down corn stalks, they've been using it for 20 years. So we said, hey, this is proven. We think there's a need in the marketplace. It solves a problem. So that's why we launched that one. And then Root Booster is the other one. And that one has really grown over the last year with fertilizer prices increasing, because those guys, there's 32 different microbes in that one, and they're all about releasing what's locked up in the soil. So you have, when you do your soil test, you have nitrogen in there, you have phosphorus and iron, and we have different microbial species that go in, use those as a food source, break it down, and make it available to the plant. So so you can actually reduce your fertilizer inputs by using that. Or I just tell people too, it kind of makes it's like throwing fuel on the fire with your fertilizer. It's just going to make it work that much better.
Yeah. And I would agree. I would definitely, those are probably two of my favorite products, I think, is the Thatch Buster and the Root Booster.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely, and I could tell in using the products the last several, like half of the season last year, and doing a soil test this year, like I was able to shove my probe in the soil. I mean, it was a lot softer, just kind of like,
those
more
pictures
airy.
were ridiculous. You showed.
Yeah. So it's been unreal. I mean, not even just with the way things look, just taking the soil samples. I've never been able to shove a probe down 16 inches into the soil before. So it's definitely focusing on that soil has been awesome. It's kind of like I tell people on YouTube and stuff, it's kind of like building a house. I mean, you're not going to build a good house without a good foundation. So the soil's kind of the foundation to your lawn.
Do you have really clay soil at your house?
Yeah, I do. So it was a lot worse. This, where I live, used to be a farm field. So when they developed the whole addition, they kind of just turned everything over. I mean, it's typical Indiana clay. So it's definitely improved over the last 5 years or so, and gotten better, but it's still clay. So it's never going to be perfect. I mean, that's just where we live. I mean, you live in the same area.
Right.
So. Our soil sucks.
Yeah, mine's bad, and I will say it's slowly changing, but it's one of those things. And with any of these products, that's probably the one, I guess, expectation that you have to set with people is, hey, it's not a quick fix, especially when you have so many cars. So it does take some time for those. It's biology too. It's natural, so it's going to take some time for them to work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I think I probably had a better foundation than most people that would probably get on board. But still, with time and you stay on it, I think that you can definitely, you can get to where you want to go. Because my yard, I think I've shared some pictures in the past of what it looked like when we moved in here 10 years ago. And I didn't really get serious with it until probably like 6-7 years ago. I didn't really have time. So, I mean, it's taken several years, but it's definitely getting to the point where it's great. So it's been fun. Let's see what else I got here. So yeah, I guess a little bit from my side, it's just from using the products, and I think I started out with Thatch Buster and Thatch Buster Lawn Commander. I don't remember what I did. It was last summer, and that's when I first I got in touch with you and figured out you guys were local. And I loved the local aspect of it, just because it was, something that is right up the road from me. And I never even knew you guys were around. So it's just weird how I stumbled upon you guys. And just the products, I mean, have worked well for me. I love that they're, safe and they work. So, and I think the microbes, and when, you kind of gave me the tour around the place last year and just kind of seeing all the research that you guys put into it and the quality and, sourcing stuff from the US and bottling it here locally. I mean, it's just a nice thing to see a local company that's kind of, because I mean, it's family owned. Is it still family owned?
Yeah.
So,
we have Gil, who's one of the founders and one of the owners. He's our CEO. Yeah. His brother Garth actually runs all production. Garth, if you talk to him, and I think any of the guys, they're just so passionate about what they do and care so much, and it just, it just resonates with the products that we put out too. So, Gil's son's a microbiologist, Grant. Bailey, his daughter, worked for us for a while. So yeah, it's definitely a family ordeal. Yeah. One of the other principals, TJ Weir, his son now works for us. So yeah, awesome. It's good. And I think, it's one of those places where, I've worked at a lot of different places and it's just a great environment, and, it's all hands on deck. I mean, right now we're in the hot times with lawn, but then our ag side of the business is absolutely blowing up right now. And, all the farmers are trying to get out in the field. So, everybody's pitching in, helping. We have a third shift going. So there's a lot going on around here for sure.
Yeah. I bet this is definitely the busy time of year in both those arenas. So, and that, I think here we got a question here.
Sure.
Turf Titan in Walmart. I think you touched on that earlier. I don't know if you touched on possibly getting more products to Walmart, but you said something about Lowe's.
So we're trying to get in Lowe's, and I think we have a pretty good shot at that. With Walmart, we just presented to Walmart a couple weeks ago. So you present right now for next year, because they actually brought our products in January for, they call it their mod set. We presented 3 more products, and we also looked at their stores. So right now, even in Fort Wayne, we're only in like 2 of the 4 stores in Fort Wayne, and we're in 1,000 stores nationwide, but Walmart has like 4,000 stores. So we really looked at, honestly, where we had sold product on Amazon and kind of mimic that, where we sold the most product, and are trying to get in all those stores, just because those are the people that are going to know who we are and what the product is too. Yeah, so we're still working on that, and we're trying to get another 1,000 stores next year.
That's awesome. Do you guys ship to Hawaii? I don't know.
No, we don't.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. So
I wish I was in Hawaii, but
it's expensive, and the other downfall, we don't have the registrations there. Hawaii is even harder than like California.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine.
Angola Walmart, I'm not sure. I don't know all of them.
I know you guys are in Huntington's Walmart.
Yeah, I know we're on Lima Road's Walmart, and Angola, I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't think it is. I think my wife was up there, and I had her check, and I don't think it was.
Right.
So
it's weird how they. But so do they let you pick the stores, or is that just something that they decide where it goes?
They decide. Yeah. But then after you start and they kind of know, all right, these guys have a better idea of where their products are going to sell and where their hot places are, so they'll let you help direct them.
Oh, okay.
But at the beginning, I think it was just kind of a shotgun approach. So, to be honest,
I've heard that about Walmart. So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. So they're in Fort Wayne, Indiana, close to me, at like 10-15 minutes from my house on my way to work. So Indiana. And you guys also have on the ag side, where you guys in, I think you said West Lafayette and somewhere in Iowa.
So we have a facility. Our facility is kind of the headquarters are here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Then we have a large facility out in Fonda, Iowa, which is northwest Iowa. and then we have production out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then we have a lab down in Sarasota, Florida, where we do all of our isolation of the microbes.
Okay.
So
I don't know if Rick here was asking about, you guys do local pickup, right?
yeah. If somebody wants to come by, they can place an order online and just swing by. If you want to say, hey, text us or send us a note on that order, I'll just pick it up, and that's perfectly fine. And usually, I mean, if an order comes in before noon, it's going out the next day. So
you guys do ship really fast.
We try to. Yeah.
So it's awesome how fast you guys ship. I mean, and it's there within a couple days, depending on where you're at. But
I got to give a shout out to my boy, the neighbor dominator, Clint's on.
Clint is in the house. That's awesome.
Right. And he's a good, Clint was one of the first guys to use the product too. And I told you also before we started, like, at the beginning, we had people using the products on their lawn, but it was a lot of like sales guys and customers that we have. But it was more ag guys. And, so when you're posting pictures about how your lawn looks, and Clint and some of the other people that we're aligned with, and, I've asked all of you just offline, like, okay, so what do you like? Tell me the truth. Like, what's good, what's bad? And I've been amazed at the response that, the community's given us, and that they had great results. And that's really that's our main goal. 100%. We just want people to have a good experience with the products.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it might've been Clint that I had seen on YouTube with the Turf Titan, where I kind of noticed that. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but it was somebody on YouTube. Might've been Clint.
Yeah, probably. He was the OG. He was the one that started with it, I would say. And then you were shortly thereafter.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's definitely, I haven't found one yet that I haven't liked or haven't had success with. So it's been
good,
really awesome to just experience those. And with some of the new stuff you guys have coming out, like the canine corrector, I'm looking forward to using.
Yeah.
It's finally warm here. We got rid of our winter cold snap. So,
do you have dogs?
I don't, but I am doing a couple project lawns this year. So, I don't have dogs. That's how I keep the grass looking.
Right, exactly.
So it's going to be fun to see how that stuff works out. But definitely looking forward to it. And like we had talked before we went on the air here. I do have a couple project lawns, and we have decided, at least with one of them, that we're going to do Turf Titan. So give people a chance to see how the product works outside of my lawn, because I feel like sometimes people will see it and say, you're just one of those YouTube lawns that is, doesn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Is not. Yeah. I'm not that crazy about it. I mean, I'm crazy about it, but not to where it's going to be perfect all the time. But it'll be cool to show like a regular type yard that, starting from scratch and go from there. So it's going to be a really awesome journey this year. So looks like a lot of our questions about Walmart. So obviously people are looking for you in Walmart. That's awesome.
Yeah. I always tell people too on that. So Walmart, the price on that is less than on Amazon, but it also doesn't cover as much. So just keep that in mind. I think it's 8,000 square foot coverage versus 6,000 square foot coverage.
See, I didn't even notice that. I didn't really look at the Walmart product.
Yeah.
I knew.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say I did have a couple people ask why it was cheaper. I guess I didn't realize that it was.
Yeah, that's why.
A smaller bottle. Yeah.
And that was driven by them. They say, hey, we really, for our customer, we need a price point in that $20 range. So that's why we did that.
Yeah. And I think that's awesome too for somebody who's just kind of getting their feet wet.
Right.
And get something to try. And it's like, it's $20. So, I mean, if it doesn't work, then it's like, what am I out really? $20. So that really gets your foot in the door with somebody.
But it works.
Honestly, that's one of my, I literally put it down with every Turf Titan app. I throw down Thatch Buster with it.
Yeah.
And I like to do Root Booster too. So those two are my favorite products, I think, just to put down in the yard and put those microbes in the soil. And let them do their thing.
Yeah, the cool.
So-
I mean, with those two, also, I mean, you can't overdose them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like, we have our Lawn 360 program, and we kind of give people the playbook of what to use when. But with Root Booster, I use it anytime I'm planting seed. I like it in the summer months too. And then with Thatch Buster, I'm mulching all the time, my grass every time. So I use it more than just, typically we recommend the spring and the fall, but I'll mix it in there throughout the season too.
Yeah.
Just getting the microbes in your soil is just a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess one other product that I really liked last year was your Drought Defender.
Oh yeah.
Mixing that with the lawn kelper in the summertime, and the results were unreal. And I like that you put that ethylene inhibitor in there to kind of slow the growth down.
Right.
And kind of
that's one we did test with Kale over at Purdue too. So we did a lot of different testing. That also has a wetting agent in it as well, just to keep that soil moist and try to hold that moisture at the top. But yeah, that went from, we just launched it last year, and it went to our number 2 seller like that. So it was crazy. I think last year, just because it was so hot too.
Yeah, I mean, especially around here, it was crazy.
Right. June it took off and went through August.
And then, here I had talked earlier about kind of you were talking about how long it takes to improve your yard. So, I mean, that was the grass when we moved in here.
Wow.
And that's not a really great picture from 2022, but it's still, I mean, you can tell like over time, and I think this is the picture I had posted a while back in relation to.
That's the one that's ridiculous.
The transformation, and and for everyone else on here, we were talking earlier, like, definitely not photoshopped. So
yeah,
I know you had said, is that photoshopped?
Mm-hmm. Well, I had somebody ask me that, like, oh, he used a filter, and
no filter. And I try to, when I do comparison photos, keep this like the sun. Try to do it at the same time, because that'll be some of the other people will be like, well, the sun's different, so it looks different.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the more consistent you can be, the less people can critique it, I guess.
Right. So somebody just asked, do you have to water the products in? I mean, it is best practice it really depends on where you're at and what type of moisture you've gotten in your area. That's how I would answer it. I mean, I just applied our products. We just got to temp, a week ago, Justin? And so I just put my products down last week. I did not water it in, because I know within 5 days we're going to get more water, and we're super wet right now anyway. So, and the way that I look at, like, a lot of these products like Thatch Buster and Root Booster, they've been used on farm fields for 20 years. Similar products, I guess it's not the same thing, but farmers are not watering them in, so they let Mother Nature do the trick. But in the summer months, I like to water things in. Somebody else is asking, is Drought Defender like Hydrotane? No, not at all. So you have a sea kelp with amino acids in it. You do have a wetting agent, which would be similar to Hydrotane, but Hydrotane's that's a super cool product too. And I don't even know, I guess I'd put it's a wetting agent, but it is different too, if you've ever gone and like had them actually show you what the product does. And then it has the ethylene inhibitor in it as well that just, slows growth and keeps that green at the top. So definitely a little bit different.
And I've had a lot of people ask too, like the hydro holder, Hydrotane, which I know it's not the exact same thing.
It's not. It is a surfactant though. It's a surfactant / wetting agent. So actually came from the golf course industry. Wetting agents are commonplace in golf courses. Obviously golf courses want to keep that grass green in the hot times of the year. So it's basically the way that that Kale's explained it to me is it's more efficient use of your water. So, you know, water will travel down the same channels in your soil. And this actually helps spread that water throughout your topsoil and kind of hold it there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then here we go. You guys have plans to expand the product line.
So the granular, you know, we've talked about it. I struggle with that though, because I just don't want to be a me too. And, you know, I mean, there's so many granular products out there, and I just don't know that that's a road that we're going to go down. So quite honestly, and, you know, a lot of people say, well, what about your herbicides and pre-emergence and things like that? Again, I just don't. I would rather build a strong lawn. So if you want to use somebody else's products, you know, to get there, but like you said, you know, you don't even use them anymore, because if you have a solid, strong lawn, then it's going to keep those weeds at bay anyway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take on that. Iron product though. Yeah, we have it coming out. That's been a tough road to hoe. We started it back June last year, and I should have product here mixed up, ready to package within 3 weeks, I think. So it's called Lawn Striper. It's a 7% iron. I think it has 13% nitrogen in it, and then I think it's a 2 to 3% magnesium. So should be a really good product. We're excited about that, and I know, you know, and the only reason we brought that out is because all of you guys have been asking for iron too. So we're like, all right, let's bring the iron products.
Yeah. Everybody likes that deep dark green.
Yeah, but that is that's a liquid as well.
Yeah. And Nate, loving the lawn kelp. I love the lawn kelper as well.
Yeah, he's a big fan of that. He's been using that for a while. So
yeah, that stuff's awesome. I definitely love that.
It's definitely smelly.
Yeah,
so a lot of our products are. Yeah, they
work. That's why they work, because they stink.
Right.
Yeah, you guys can be used on warm season grasses. I don't see.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no issue with that at all.
Yeah.
I was going to show. I think this is kind of a cool picture. Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah.
I'll show. If it does it. Tell me if you can see this.
Well,
can you see?
There you go.
So this was a customer. Can you guys see that now? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. So I'm assuming.
Okay. So it was a customer out in Iowa, and all that he did was spray down Thatch Buster. And people ask, like, how quick does Thatch Buster work? And this was all his lawn. But that's 2 months. So, you know, it wasn't an overnight fix, but you can see he got more green up. The yellowing kind of disappeared there. And, you know, so that's what you see on the lawn. And then in the top left-hand corner, that's what it does to a corn stalk. So this was in the same field. You can see the one on the right, it's gotten inside. It's called the pith, and it basically eats that and breaks it down. So essentially that's what it's doing to your, to your lawn as well. So I just think that's worth showing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's definitely, I've noticed a big difference with the Thatch Buster over last season, the last several months, because I think I used it for 4 or 5 months, and it did great with all the other stuff.
Yeah,
that we were using from the line.
And you used Rust Wrecker too, didn't you?
Yeah, that stuff worked. That was awesome. Like I had used some other. I'm going to use it again this summer, so I have some iron stains on the sidewalk. I never got around to doing that last year, but definitely I did it on some. I did a video with it on like an electrical box from a sprinkler system, and I've seen other people use it as well, and that stuff's amazing. Like it just kind of takes it right away. I mean, I had to scrub it because obviously it was a little, a couple of years of buildup, but I mean, still super easy to spray it on and scrub it off and it just takes it right away. And it's not like nasty acids that some of that stuff they buy at the stores.
Yeah.
Nasty. I'll say I also like a lot of people don't know a whole lot about the bud builder.
Oh yeah.
I know I used that last year. And I like that stuff a lot. Are you guys going to put that on the website anytime soon, or is that still just Amazon?
No, we are. It should be launched on the website here probably within 2 weeks, and then and then Amazon has it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, great for flowers, great for your garden. Really gets things popping too.
Yeah, yeah, and I was amazed last year using it on the plant that I did. So it worked fantastic. So
somebody's asking, looks like Chris Wesson is asking about difference between Lawn Advancer and Lawn Commander. So kind of the history on those is Lawn Commander, when we first came out, we only had 4 products. It was Thatch Buster, Root Booster, Pond Perfector, and then we had Bud Builder. So those were all microbial based. And, one of the comments that we got, and we really try to pay attention to the feedback that we get from customers. And that's what's nice about Amazon too, is, man, we need something to give us that green pop. So Lawn Commander is our one product that is a true synthetic. If people want that green pop or a transitional product, it's a 2003. It's got micronutrients in it, and then it's got humic acid as well. So great, just all around fertilizer, and just a good product. We like it in the spring and the fall. It's gonna, put that lawn to sleep in the fall and kick it in the spring. And then Lawn Advancer is completely different. So that one is one with a lower NPK. So I think it's a 377. But then it's got like 16 different components in it. So it does have, we put in that ethylene inhibitor in that as well. So it's more for your summertime. But it's got aminos in it. It's got micronutrients. Again, and it has the root booster bugs in it as well. So you're getting a little bit of everything in that one. And just overall, just good health for your plant. And you can use it on your garden as well, or flowers. If something is struggling, any plant that you have, and even make maybe a bush or something like that, if you planted something, hit it up with Lawn Advancer, and it will pop it back into shape.
Yeah, I think last year I had some fungus damage, and I used the Lawn Advancer in the backyard, and within a couple of days it started. You could definitely tell visually that it was getting a little better. Now that didn't cure the fungus or anything, but it definitely gave it that boost to improve it a little bit and get it headed back in the right direction. I mean, it was awesome stuff. So I'll usually use that in the summer. Usually in the summertime, I would mix up the Drought Defender, the Lawn Kelper, and sometimes that Lawn Advancer, and then use with the Root Booster. That's one of the things I like about it with your guys' products is the compatibility to mix stuff.
Right.
I don't think I've ever not mixed something up. Typically I'll use like just a regular hose end sprayer, mainly because so I can mix them. So I'll do it once instead of spraying it 4 different times. But yeah, it's really nice. Like sometimes you mix products together and they're not like you'll have issues with them. So it's nice that they're all mixable and you can put them down. Like today I mixed up 3 different products and sprayed them out, and that was it. So
awesome.
Saves a lot of time and makes it really easy, especially for somebody who's just getting into doing lawns or going from that aspect.
And you can, we get a lot of questions. If somebody wants to use a pre-emergent in there, like Tenacity or something like that, you can mix those right along with our products. It won't hurt them a bit. And it just, saves you a little time. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I typically use, last year I ended up buying like a 4-gallon backpack sprayer. So I just put everything down with that now and love it. I just mix up all my concoctions in there and let it go.
Yeah.
Both ends easy too.
Yeah, and I would say, like, I know your guys' instructions talk about every 4 to 6 weeks on application. I think that's the other nice thing about, I think, the liquids, because I tend to do it in more frequent intervals.
Yeah.
So I'll maybe cut it back a little bit, kind of like a spoon feed, and spray it out, keep it continually feeding. But it's also like I've done it the 4 to 6 weeks and haven't really noticed a huge difference in it. So that's definitely easy instead of going out there all the time. I just like to do it. So
Right.
I know that those type of people are few and far between, but outside of the people in this chat, I guess. But
right, exactly. I think you have them all in here right now. So I agree. I think I tend to probably steer to the 4 week time frame because I just feel like, your lawn is searching for something at that point a lot of times, depending on what you're putting down. So,
especially in the summertime. I mean, when it starts getting hot and dry, it's nice to kind of just keep giving it a jolt of feeding it. So it's worked great for me. So
Clint just called out My Four Sons. That's the backpack sprayer I used. That thing is awesome. So if you guys don't have one, you should check out their website.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those do look awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Give you the name of my neighbor. Make sure they can't buy your content.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else said lawn striper. Just take my money now. That's funny. I love that.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the lawn striper for sure. Because I mean, that's definitely what sets you apart is that deep dark green, and the stripes look awesome. So rolling your yard.
Question. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you say because I have my thoughts on this too.
Yeah, so like I did a video a while back about rolling, and like I know in this area, I think it's probably especially the older generation. Like we grew up, and it was like my grandfather would always be like, "Yeah, we're gonna roll it every single spring, and that's just what it is because that's what we've always done," kind of thing. And I've noticed like I think there's a time and place for it, and I think that over the last few years of improving my soil and definitely getting it, improving, the aerification or whatever in the soil and making it better. I've noticed when we come out of winter that my lawn really isn't during those freeze and thaws that I don't see a lot of humps and bumps out there anymore. So I just kind of avoid doing it here just because of that. That's just my thought. I mean, in the past when the soil was hard clay, I mean, you'd notice a lot more of that when the water gets down in there and then it freezes, thaws like we'd have here in Indiana. And then you come out there and you'd have uneven bumps and everything. And I think that's historically why a lot of people probably do it around here frequently every single year. But that's kind of my thought. Like I try to avoid it if I can. And if I do it, like I just have a small roller if I have a problem spot. Like we had some issues with moles last year. I'd go out and kind of knock those tunnels down with it. But not really the entire lawn. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I avoid compacting my soil if at all possible, just because I mean, our clay is so bad. So
yeah. Especially if you haven't been working on it. It's
right.
And I think with a lot of I think I've seen a lot of people even off of YouTube that have contacted me around here with how they're building houses up like crazy in this area. And it's like a lot of people have new lawns and the soil's terrible on new builds.
Right.
They're disrupting everything. They got construction debris and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's definitely a long road to try to improve the soil in those type of scenarios, but it's doable. It just takes a lot of work and time. If you want to do it or not. But with lawn rolling, that's kind of my thought too. I don't like to do it if I don't have to, but I think there's time and place for it if you need to do it. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean so we've been selling for a year now to Site One, and those guys sell a lot of the call them contractor markets, the guys that are going out and applying the products to people's lawns. So not the not everybody on this chat. So these are the professional guys that are out there doing it. And I've been amazed at and I never really thought about it. But I did a presentation a couple months back, and, there were like 100 contractors in there. Number one, every single presentation that was going on, and who was it? It was, oh geez, I can't think of their name right now. I want to say Syngenta, but it was a herbicide manufacturer. There were two people from Site One. One talked about pre-emergence and the other talked about fertilizers, and then they had us speak. And every single presenter was talking about soil health and microbes and taking care of the microbes in the soil. And then we had a roundtable afterwards, and there were all the contractors were saying, hey man, the soil that we're dealing with is unbelievably bad because this, the homes that are being built are on old farm fields, and there's no microbial life. And Garth was there, and he said, he calls them biological deserts because they've basically been stripped of any living organisms in the soil. So they were super into, hey, how do we get that soil biology back to it and helping, because they know that's the key to getting that healthy lawn back again too. So the way that I looked at that, I was like, well, microbials in the ag industry, it took them a while to catch on. Now it's catching on in the contractor market. So it's going to continue to grow into the consumer level as well.
Yeah.
If you over apply a product, will it kill or hurt your lawn? Which one should you avoid? So yeah, depending on the time, the one that I always warn people about too is Lawn Commander. So if you put Lawn Commander down now, and by itself or with Thatch Buster, Root Booster, you're good to go. If you put that down and you've put a granular weeding feed down that has a high nitrogen as well, then yeah, you're bringing in risk of burnout there. And yeah, I think the lawn striper, depending on the season. I mean, I don't like high end products in the hot summer months. I just avoid those. That's why I like Lawn Advancer. So, my take is, follow the program that we have, and you'll be safe and good to go.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree.
If you do have questions, call us. I mean, that's what we're here for. We answer questions like that all day long.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys pick up the phone. So it's nice to have that instead of just buying some product online. And if you have a question, you never really know. So
right.
It's definitely been great. But yeah, I would agree with you on that. Don't apply a ton of nitrogen on the lawn, especially when you get into the hotter weather.
Right.
For sure. You don't want to go putting a bunch of Lawn Commander down in the middle of July around here.
Right.
Unless you want a dead lawn and a burned lawn. But.
Right.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions? And we're getting ready to, I think we're going to give some stuff away for everybody that's joined in. What are we giving away?
We'll give away one of these hats. These are the new hats. So they're Nike hats. So they've got the Nike emblem on the back, Turf Titan on the front.
Yeah.
We'll give one of those away. And then how about 2 32-ounce products of your choice? Whatever you want, any of the products that we talked about. If you want to wait for the lawn striper, you can wait for that. And yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Well, we had the entries in, and some of the people I've seen in the chat, we added some of them, and let me see if I can share this so we can get this given away. And I have these awesome things that my buddy made me this awesome sign, and we'll give away some of these little mementos.
Those are sweet.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job. These were some extra. I don't know if you could see him on here, but he's pretty good with wood. So It's awesome. I was like, hey, can you make me a sign for my garage? I'm going to hang that up in the garage. And he's like, yeah. And those were kind of just extras. So I figured let's give them away. So it's going to be awesome. And I guess you have whoever's running the Turf Titan.
Yeah, I think maybe Mr. Pollock might be in the background listening right now. So he has some. We have a pretty legit T-shirt dropping on Friday, so we're excited about it.
Awesome.
That's all I'm going to say right now. So we will have those coming out, just so people know. Like we're out of hoodies. Like we pretty much do T-shirts in the summer. When the fall comes, then we'll come out with our hoodies and stuff. We do have these Nike hats. We're not selling them on the website yet, although we may at some point. Mostly it's just, giveaways for things like this. And then we do have quite a few more hats coming in. We ordered a ton of Richardson hats as well that should be pretty cool.
Yeah. Your guys' shirts don't disappoint. You always come up with good shirts. I'm wearing this one here. So.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a classic. So, and I think you'll like the new one. So it's
I'm sure. Yeah.
That is
it's going to be awesome.
Our marketing guy's pretty good with that stuff. So, and he's got a long list of T-shirts that he's just waiting to bring out.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing them. So,
yeah.
All right. So let's get over here. So I have everybody in on the. I think we got everybody in. If this is going to share.
Are you going to Cincinnati this weekend, Justin?
No,
KBG King's asking.
So there's a Midwest lawn care meetup that's going on down there that they invited me to. So I'm gonna possibly I'm planning on doing it. So hopefully I'll be able to make it, and it's gonna be awesome with getting together and meeting some people face to face that I've conversed with through here. So it's been pretty awesome to see. And meet some new faces. So yeah, that's the plan. So if anybody else is in this area and interested in that, hit me up or hit him up, and we'll get more information on that. And hopefully this will share here while I'm trying to. So hopefully this works. There we go. All right, so I guess first I'll give away some of these little coaster signs here. We'll do that first, and we'll save the products for last, I guess. So you had to be present in the chat. So if your name hits, make sure you drop your name. Chad is our first winner, and yeah, we got him that for sure. So congrats, that's awesome. We'll get one of those out to you. You'll have to send me your contact information. If you win the Turf Titan stuff, do you want them to just send me their info and I send it over to you? Is that?
Yeah, that's fine. Or they can drop, if they want to just drop us an email at hello@turftitanbrands.com too. They can do that. And if any of you guys have questions, reach out on Instagram, any of the social platforms, or just give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll give away, I think I got 4 of these to give away. So we'll go through that, and then we'll do the big stuff.
Oh, Nate just missed it. He wins everything. So
people are lucky like that. I'm not one of them. And some of these people like this one, I don't know, is this one in the chat? I don't believe so. I haven't seen that name come up on the chat. So if that's the case, I'll spin again. I don't in here. So I know that Sheila is in here. I saw that name. Sheila really supports the Facebook page, and I think she's on the Turf Titan page a lot. So that's It's awesome.
Yeah.
Following those posts. So congrats for that. Now we got Steve.
317.
So yeah, I mean, if you win any of those, just yeah, just reach out to me if you win any of them. We'll make you. They're pretty awesome. We'll have those will be nice. All right, so we'll give away the Nike hat, Turf Titan hat. Next.
Yeah, give it away. Just make it all one. We'll just give the 2 bottles and then the Nike hat away. Unless you want to split them up. That's up to you, Jim.
Okay. Well, we got. Well, I don't really care. I guess we'll just split it up since we already said that. So
okay,
if Rick is still around in the chat, Rick, are you still here in the chat? If not, I'm going to spin again here. And if we don't, I got everybody else. Trying to look over here in YouTube. Rick's still around. If not, I'm gonna spin it again. 5 seconds. So drop your name.
Rick was here.
All right, we'll do it again. He must not be here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there he is. Awesome, Rick. All right, so the 32-ounce bottle.
Petunias. Eva. Sweet. So, all right. I bet she's going to want the striper.
On that?
Yes.
I would. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming in, Andrew. I think this has been really fun. And
yeah, it was awesome.
The background.
Hey, no, I appreciate your time. And
didn't know.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I appreciate your time, and that's awesome that you came on here and were willing to do this. So kind of give everybody the background about Turf Titan, and that's not always easy to do in like a straight up YouTube video or social media post. So this has been awesome.
No, hey, we appreciate I've talked to a lot of the people that are in here on, Instagram or through emails, and the community's awesome. The people are awesome. And, we really appreciate everybody's support and giving us a shot. We know there's other products out there, and, whatever we can do to help, we really mean that. Like, give us a call, reach out. We're here, and we do care about it. So we're passionate about what we do, and just appreciate the opportunity. So thanks a lot. And you do an awesome job for us. So just really appreciate it.
And go check you out on keep asking there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be awesome.
So do it again.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Awesome
all right,
stuff.
guys.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. Yeah. Everybody have a great night. Thank you.
Yep. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.